Imagine a woman who embodies grace, charm, and genuine connection. Someone who has the gift of establishing meaningful relationships with people from all walks of life. Her presence lights up every room she enters, and she exudes a warmth that invites others to be themselves around her. She is a woman having friendship with everyone, and in her heart lies the art of making the world feel like one large, interconnected family. To embody the spirit of connection is to understand that the essence of every relationship we create is birthed from within. It begins as a feeling, a deep-seated awareness that all life is interconnected, and every soul we encounter is an extension of the divine whole. This understanding goes beyond a simple intellectual concept and transforms into an internal state of being. The woman who masters this art knows that to create meaningful and lasting connections, she must first become the living embodiment of connection itself. Imagine a woman who, upon waking each morning, sets her intention to feel completely aligned with the world around her. She closes her eyes and sees herself moving through the day with grace and ease, envisioning every encounter unfolding in perfect harmony. In her mind's eye, she witnesses people smiling at her, engaging in joyful conversations, and feeling uplifted by her presence. This simple act of visualization allows her to feel the energy of connection long before she steps out into the physical world. She understands that every relationship she seeks to build is first formed in the unseen realm of her imagination. Her spirit is grounded in a deep appreciation for life, and this appreciation becomes her magnet. As she moves throughout her day, she carries an unshakable sense of oneness with her surroundings. She makes a habit of noticing the beauty in the world, whether it's the way sunlight filters through the leaves of a tree, or the melody of laughter shared by strangers. By savoring these moments, she fills her heart with a sense of gratitude that permeates her entire being. This gratitude is not just an emotion, but a powerful energy that radiates from her, silently inviting others to connect with her. When she meets someone, she greets them with her whole heart. Her eyes, the windows to her soul, convey genuine warmth and acceptance. She is present, fully engaged, and her attention never wavers. In her presence, people feel understood and valued. She never rushes through conversations or treats encounters as mere transactions. Instead, she engages with a sincere curiosity. The energy she brings into every interaction is magnetic because it is free from pretense and judgment. Her presence creates a space where others feel safe to be vulnerable, opening a pathway to authentic connection. The spirit of connection she embodies is rooted in a deep sense of empathy. She has trained herself to imagine the inner world of others, to understand the silent struggles they may be enduring or the quiet victories they are celebrating. This empathy is not just a superficial gesture but a felt experience. When someone shares a story of pain or joy, she feels it deeply, as if it were her own. She holds space for their emotions without seeking to fix or change them. By fully experiencing the highs and lows of others, she forges bonds that are rich with understanding. The woman who embodies connection knows that relationships are nurtured through energy, not just words. Her energy is calm, inviting, and nurturing because she has cultivated an inner peace that flows outward. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It is a state she has created and maintained through self-awareness and inner work. She meditates on the idea that every person she meets has a divine spark within them, a light that deserves to be recognized. This awareness shapes her actions, guiding her to be gentle, kind, and uplifting, even when faced with adversity. She views every encounter as an opportunity to deepen the tapestry of human experience. She understands that the world is a mirror, reflecting back the energy she projects. If she wishes to experience love and connection, she must first embody those qualities. Her heart is an open channel, ready to give and receive love freely. Her spirit of connection does not discriminate. It extends to everyone, from the cashier at the grocery store to her closest friends. Each interaction holds the potential for magic, because she has chosen to live from a place of unity. This woman has mastered the art of reading the energy of a room. When she enters a space, she takes a moment to feel the collective mood. She subtly shifts her own energy to align with the environment, whether that means bringing a burst of joy to a solemn gathering or offering a calming presence to a tense situation. She adapts not because she seeks to please others, but because she understands that connection is a dynamic, living force. By tuning into the energy of her surroundings, she harmonizes herself with it, amplifying the sense of unity. Her gift lies in making people feel as though they are the most important person in the room. When she speaks, her words are chosen with care, designed to uplift and inspire. When she listens, she does so with her whole being, giving her full attention to the person in front of her. It is in these moments of deep, undivided attention that people feel truly seen. They feel that they matter, and this feeling is the essence of connection. She doesn't simply hear what people are saying, she perceives the unspoken messages carried in their tone, expressions, and energy. Her spirit of connection also manifests in the way she moves through life with openness and vulnerability. She is not afraid to share her own journey, her own struggles, and her own dreams. By being vulnerable, she gives others permission to do the same. Her openness dissolves barriers and reveals the shared humanity that lies beneath the surface. Yet she is discerning, understanding that connection is not about oversharing, but about sharing authentically with the intention of deepening mutual understanding. This woman is aware of the ripple effect of her energy. She knows that every time she makes someone feel valued and connected, that energy spreads. It might inspire a chain of kindness, with people paying it forward in ways that she may never witness. But she doesn't need to see the results to know that her spirit of connection has made an impact. She trusts that the energy of love and unity she embodies is powerful enough to transform not only her own life, but the world around her. To see everyone through the lens of love requires a profound shift in perception, a deep reprogramming of how one interacts with the world and all its inhabitants. It is a conscious decision to view each person as inherently worthy, valuable, and deserving of love. This perspective does not come naturally to most. It is cultivated through practice, an inner commitment to choosing love over judgment, understanding over condemnation, and compassion over criticism. The woman who embodies this philosophy makes love her default state, allowing it to permeate her every thought, word, and action. When she looks at someone, she doesn't just see the surface. Instead, she perceives the divine spark within them, the essence that is beyond any superficial labels or flaws. Her heart knows that each person is carrying an invisible story, one filled with dreams, hopes, and also pain. This awareness makes her approach every encounter with a softness, a grace that flows from her genuine love for humanity. She realizes that love is not blind to imperfections, but rather chooses to acknowledge them without diminishing the goodness that resides within each soul. This lens of love alters her reactions to the actions and words of others. When someone is unkind or impatient, she refrains from reacting impulsively or defensively. Instead, she pauses, reminding herself that every outward expression of negativity is often a manifestation of inner suffering. She doesn't condone harmful behavior, but she seeks to understand its roots. Her heart whispers that the person in front of her may be wrestling with unseen battles, and this realization sparks compassion rather than resentment. Through this compassion, she holds space for healing and growth, both for herself and for those she encounters. In moments when it is difficult to extend love, when someone has wronged her or treated her unfairly, she draws inward, reconnecting with the truth that love is a choice, an act of the will as much as it is an emotion. She reminds herself that holding on to anger or resentment only burdens her own spirit, dimming the light of love she wishes to radiate. So she practices the art of forgiveness, not to dismiss the pain she has felt, but to free herself from its grasp. Through this act, she transforms her heart into fertile ground for understanding and connection, allowing love to guide her even in challenging circumstances. Her commitment to seeing through the lens of love extends to every corner of her life, influencing how she relates to friends, family, strangers, and even those she may never meet in person. She recognizes that each person, regardless of their actions or status, has a story filled with complexities. This realization prevents her from making snap judgments or assigning labels based on appearances or isolated actions. She seeks to understand, to delve deeper, and to honor the intricacies of each soul's journey. She practices this perspective actively, catching herself in moments when she starts to judge or criticize. Instead of feeding those thoughts, she pauses and gently redirects her mind to love. It's not about suppressing negative feelings, but about acknowledging them and choosing a higher path. When she encounters someone who irritates or frustrates her, she silently blesses them, sending out thoughts of kindness and well-being. This silent blessing is not just a practice of self-discipline, but a powerful affirmation that love can transform even the most strained encounters. Her love is not passive or superficial, it is a force, an active presence that she brings into every interaction. When she sees someone who is struggling, her first instinct is to offer help, whether that be a listening ear, a comforting word, or a simple smile. She knows that small gestures of love can ripple outwards, touching lives in ways she may never fully understand. By choosing to see everyone through the lens of love, she becomes a vessel of healing energy, sending waves of compassion into the world, no matter how small they might seem. Even in situations where love appears to be unreciprocated, she remains steadfast in her practice. She understands that loving others is not about receiving something in return, but about embodying the essence of love itself. Her heart is a sanctuary, a place where the wounded parts of the world can find solace and acceptance. This love she offers is unconditional, not swayed by the attitudes or opinions of others. It stands strong because it is rooted in a deeper truth that love, in its purest form, is a reflection of her own soul's purity. She has learned to speak with love, letting her words become instruments of healing rather than division. Every time she opens her mouth to speak, she is mindful of the energy she is transmitting. Her voice carries a softness, a gentleness that soothes even the most troubled spirits. She uses her words to uplift, to encourage, and to inspire. Whether she is offering advice, sharing a story, or simply engaging in small talk, her intention is always to leave others feeling more loved and appreciated. This lens of love also shapes the way she perceives herself. She knows that true love for others begins with self-love. She forgives herself for past mistakes, shows herself the same compassion she extends to others, and practices gratitude for her own journey. By loving herself fully, she strengthens her ability to love those around her. Her self-love is not egotistical, but rooted in a deep respect for her own divinity, which in turn fuels her respect for the divinity in others. Her heart is open, yet it is also discerning. Seeing through the lens of love does not mean accepting harmful behavior or sacrificing her own well-being. Rather, it means setting boundaries with grace and knowing that she can love people from a distance if necessary. Her love is wise, understanding that sometimes the most loving thing one can do is to walk away from toxicity, while still wishing the best for the other person. She embodies love, but she does so with a strength that protects and preserves her own light. The woman who sees everyone through the lens of love is a living testament to the transformative power of the heart. Her world is one where judgment gives way to understanding, anger melts into compassion, and division is replaced with unity. She knows that every moment offers a choice to act from love or to act from fear. And with every breath she takes, she chooses love. To radiate an inviting energy is to become a beacon of warmth and openness, a force that naturally draws people in and makes them feel at ease. It is about embodying a vibration that communicates acceptance, joy, and safety without needing to say a single word. The woman who has mastered this art understands that her energy speaks volumes before she even opens her mouth. It enters the room before she does, setting a tone that welcomes and soothes all those around her. Her inviting energy begins with an unwavering inner peace. She has taken the time to cultivate a sense of calm and balance within herself, knowing that her internal world shapes the energy she projects. This peace is the foundation of her presence, a steady rhythm that others can feel. When she walks into a space, her composure sends a message: there is no rush, no need to put up defenses, no fear of judgment here. Her energy gently reassures everyone that they are in the presence of someone who accepts them exactly as they are. One of her most powerful tools is her smile, the simple yet profoundly effective gesture that radiates positivity. Her smile is genuine, coming from a heart that delights in the beauty of connection. It is not forced or obligatory, it flows naturally from her appreciation of the moment and the people around her. This sincerity is palpable and contagious. A warm smile can disarm even the most guarded individuals, encouraging them to let down their walls and reciprocate the kindness they feel emanating from her. Her smile invites people to engage, to feel seen and celebrated. Her body language mirrors the openness of her energy. She stands or sits with a posture that is relaxed but attentive, free of tension or defensiveness. Her arms are uncrossed, her gestures are welcoming, and she makes an effort to maintain comfortable eye contact. This body language creates a nonverbal invitation, signaling that she is approachable and interested in genuine interaction. She leans in slightly when someone speaks, not just as a sign of engagement, but as an energetic offering of her full presence. By embodying openness in her physicality, she communicates trust and genuine interest. Her voice is another expression of her inviting energy. She speaks with a calm and gentle tone, her words carrying a cadence that soothes rather than startles. She modulates her voice to match the energy of the conversation, listening first to understand the mood of the interaction and then adapting to it. When she needs to bring comfort, her voice becomes a warm embrace, and when she seeks to uplift, her words carry a buoyant and joyful energy. Her voice never pushes or demands. Instead, it flows like a gentle stream, inviting others to wade in at their own pace. The energy she radiates is also deeply compassionate. She has cultivated an empathy that can be felt even in her silence. People feel understood in her presence, even if no words are exchanged. This is because she listens with her whole being, giving others the gift of her undivided attention. She doesn't just hear words, she listens to the emotions and intentions behind them. Her understanding gaze and the soft nods of her head tell people that they are valued and that their experiences matter. Her compassion creates a space where people feel safe to share their truth. Her inviting energy extends beyond one-on-one interactions to the overall atmosphere she creates wherever she goes. She pays attention to the subtleties of energy exchange, noticing when someone feels left out or uncomfortable. With a simple gesture, like a friendly wave or a kind word, she draws them into the fold, ensuring no one feels excluded. She brings a unifying force into group dynamics, intuitively finding ways to connect people and make everyone feel like they belong. This isn't about being the life of the party, it's about being the heart of the gathering, the one who ensures everyone feels cared for. She also knows how to elevate the energy of a space without overpowering it. Her laughter is light and infectious, but never dominating. Her joy is subtle yet powerful, lifting the spirits of those around her without demanding attention. Even when she is silent, her energy vibrates with a positivity that uplifts. She engages in conversations with a genuine curiosity, asking questions that invite deeper connections rather than surface-level exchanges. People leave interactions with her feeling enriched, as though their spirits have been recharged just by being in her presence. Her inviting energy is not just about positivity, it is about being fully present. She has trained herself to let go of distractions, so when she is with someone, she is truly with them. Her mind doesn't wander to her to-do list or her phone. Her attention is a gift she gives freely, and this focused presence makes others feel valued. It's rare in today's world to find someone who is completely present, and this rarity makes her energy even more magnetic. People crave the authenticity she offers, and they are drawn to the peace they feel in her presence. She also radiates a sense of acceptance. Her energy communicates that she has no agenda to change or fix anyone. She is not here to judge or critique, but to honor the inherent worth of each person she meets. This acceptance is healing. It allows people to relax, to feel that they don't need to put on a show or pretend to be someone they are not. Her acceptance flows from the understanding that every person is on their own unique journey, and she respects the pace and direction of that journey. Her inviting energy is amplified by her sense of self-assuredness. She is grounded in who she is, and this inner confidence is what makes her energy so stable and welcoming. People sense that she is comfortable in her own skin, which in turn makes them feel comfortable in theirs. This confidence is not boastful or arrogant. It is a quiet knowing that she is enough, and that everyone else is enough too. Her self-love radiates outward, encouraging others to embrace themselves with the same warmth and kindness. Ultimately, radiating and inviting energy is an act of love, a choice to make the world a more harmonious place. It requires continual self-awareness and a willingness to cultivate inner peace so that it can be shared with others. This energy transcends words and actions. It is a vibration that touches souls, an unseen force that gently reminds people of the love that connects us all. To imagine understanding before judgment is to cultivate an inner world where empathy replaces the reflex to criticize and openness replaces the impulse to condemn. This approach demands a heightened awareness of the complexity of human behavior, a profound recognition that what we see on the surface is rarely the entire truth. The woman who embodies this philosophy seeks to understand the experiences and emotions that have shaped the people she encounters. Rather than forming conclusions based on appearances, she allows herself to pause, breathe, and look beyond the immediate moment. In this space between observation and reaction, she creates the possibility for genuine understanding. When she encounters someone whose behavior seems difficult or perplexing, her first instinct is not to label or dismiss them. Instead, she takes a moment to consider the potential backstory behind their actions. Perhaps that person is carrying an unseen burden, wrestling with grief, or trying to manage a stress that is tearing at the edges of their emotional stability. This practice of imagining the untold stories of others doesn't mean she excuses harmful behavior, but it gives her the patience to respond in a way that is thoughtful, rather than reactive. She sees beyond the mask that people wear, intuitively understanding that we all have vulnerabilities we try to hide. This desire for understanding extends to her daily interactions. When she finds herself frustrated by someone, whether it's a coworker, a stranger, or even a friend, she mentally steps into their shoes. She imagines what it must feel like to be that person, living with their particular set of challenges, hopes, and dreams. This imaginative act doesn't require her to know the exact details of their life story. It only requires her to acknowledge that a deeper story exists. By doing this, she softens her heart, allowing compassion to take root where judgment might have grown. One of the cornerstones of this approach is the understanding that no one is born unkind or unloving. People learn to put up defenses, to lash out, or to shut down because of the hardships they have faced. Trauma, pain, and unhealed wounds shape people in ways that aren't always easy to understand. The woman who chooses understanding over judgment knows that many actions stem from fear, insecurity, or confusion. When she keeps this in mind, she can extend a gentle grace to those who may not be able to express their true selves. She becomes a source of light in a world that often prefers to point fingers and assign blame. Imagine her in a scenario where someone snaps at her impatiently. Rather than reacting in kind or immediately assuming that person is rude or inconsiderate, she considers the possibility that they may be having a difficult day. Perhaps they just received bad news or are feeling overwhelmed. Her understanding doesn't make her a pushover. It empowers her to choose a response that can de-escalate tension rather than add to it. Sometimes her simple act of not judging but instead showing kindness can transform the energy of an entire interaction. When she witnesses behavior that is troubling or even harmful, she engages her capacity for understanding on a deeper level. She asks herself why someone might feel compelled to act in such a way. She explores the potential origins of their choices. Maybe their aggression is a shield for a profound sense of inadequacy. Maybe their cold demeanor is the result of years of feeling misunderstood. These reflections don't absolve others of responsibility, but allow her to approach situations with a clarity that is infused with empathy. She does not let her emotions get hijacked by anger or resentment. Instead, she lets her understanding guide her actions. This practice of imagining understanding before judgment extends to how she views societal issues as well. She is aware of how people are shaped by their environments, upbringing, and cultural norms. She knows that not everyone has had access to the same opportunities, education, or support systems. This awareness makes her less likely to generalize or stereotype, and more inclined to consider the systemic factors that influence behavior. Her empathy isn't just reserved for those she knows personally, but radiates outward to embrace humanity as a whole. She has trained herself to think critically and compassionately about the root causes of people's actions. Her approach doesn't just benefit those she interacts with, it transforms her own experience of the world. By choosing understanding over judgment, she releases herself from the burden of carrying grudges or harboring resentments. Her mind becomes a more peaceful place, unclouded by the negativity that comes from harsh criticism. Her relationships are more harmonious, built on a foundation of trust and mutual respect. People feel safe opening up to her, sharing their stories without fear of being judged. Her ability to listen without preconceived notions fosters deeper connections, and in return, she experiences a richer and more fulfilling life. Even when she encounters people whose values or beliefs differ greatly from her own, she makes an effort to understand where they are coming from. She asks questions, not with the intention of debating or proving her own point, but with a sincere curiosity. She wants to know what life experiences have shaped their perspectives, what fears or dreams lie behind their worldviews. This doesn't mean she always agrees with them, but it means she can hold space for differing opinions without resorting to judgment. Her understanding is an act of respect, a silent acknowledgement of the complexity of being human. One of the most beautiful aspects of this practice is how it helps her grow as a person. Every time she chooses to understand rather than judge, she becomes more resilient and compassionate. She learns to hold the paradox of human nature that people can be both deeply flawed and deeply good. This realization makes her wiser, less prone to black and white thinking. She develops an emotional maturity that allows her to handle conflict with grace and navigate relationships with a sense of purpose. Her spirit becomes a sanctuary, a safe haven where people feel embraced and accepted, even when they are struggling. She applies this same understanding to herself. She realizes that self-judgment can be just as damaging as judging others. When she makes mistakes or falls short of her own expectations, she practices self-compassion. She reflects on the reasons behind her actions, understanding that her imperfections are part of her humanity. By being gentle with herself, she strengthens her ability to extend that same gentleness to others. This self-love doesn't make her complacent, but inspires her to grow from a place of kindness rather than self-criticism. In choosing to imagine understanding before judgment, she becomes a powerful force for good. Her presence transforms environments, making them more welcoming and inclusive. People are drawn to her because they sense that she sees them for who they truly are, not just for their mistakes or the roles they play. Her life becomes a testament to the healing power of empathy, a daily practice of seeing the best in others, even when it's hidden beneath layers of pain. This journey isn't always easy, but it's one she commits to with her whole heart, knowing that understanding is the seed from which a more compassionate world grows. The power of words is immense, and to speak words that uplift is to choose consciously to create a positive impact on those around you. Every word carries an energy, a vibration that can either uplift or bring down the people it touches. When a woman makes the deliberate choice to speak words that elevate others, she is participating in a subtle yet powerful act of transformation. Her speech becomes a tool for healing, inspiration, and encouragement, a way to plant seeds of hope in the hearts of those who hear her. This practice requires not only mindfulness, but also a deep understanding of the impact her words can have. To speak words that uplift is to understand the difference between speaking with intention and speaking out of habit. It's easy to let words spill out without thinking, to make offhanded remarks, or to respond from a place of irritation or impatience. But a woman who values the power of uplifting speech pauses before she speaks. She asks herself, will these words bring light or darkness? Will they empower or diminish? This moment of reflection is a practice of self-discipline, a way of ensuring that what she expresses contributes positively to the energy of her surroundings. She knows that once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back, so she treats each one with care. Imagine her walking into a room filled with tension, perhaps at work, where a meeting has become heated, or at home, where family members are having a disagreement. Rather than adding to the stress with harsh or critical language, she chooses to speak words that soothe and calm. She acknowledges the emotions in the room without judgment, offering phrases like, I understand how this could feel overwhelming, or let's take a moment to breathe and think this through together. Her words act as a balm, easing the tension and creating a space for clearer communication. People around her feel the difference her language makes, and they are more likely to respond in kind. She also uses uplifting speech to encourage and motivate those who may be struggling. When she notices a friend or a colleague feeling defeated or doubting their abilities, she steps in with words that remind them of their strength and potential. She might say, "I believe in you and your capacity to overcome this," or "Remember how far you've come and all that you've accomplished." Her words are never empty platitudes. They come from a place of genuine belief in the other person's worth and capabilities. Because she speaks from the heart, her encouragement feels authentic and deeply impactful. Her uplifting language is not reserved only for grand gestures or moments of visible struggle. It finds its way into everyday conversations, turning the mundane into something meaningful. When she greets people, she makes them feel seen and valued, even if it's as simple as saying, "I'm so happy to see you today," or "Your smile lights up this room." These seemingly small words have a ripple effect, brightening someone's day and fostering a sense of belonging. The woman who speaks words that uplift knows that it doesn't take grand proclamations to make a difference sometimes. A simple phrase spoken with sincerity can change the course of someone's day. When offering feedback or constructive criticism, she remains mindful of her intention to uplift. Rather than focusing on what someone did wrong, she highlights what they did well and offers suggestions for improvement in a way that is supportive rather than discouraging. For example, she might say, "You did a fantastic job on this part, and here's how we could make it even better next time." This approach makes the person feel valued for their efforts while still providing room for growth. It's a delicate balance, but one that she has mastered through her commitment to using language that builds rather than breaks. She understands that uplifting words are not just about offering compliments or avoiding criticism. They are about recognizing the innate worth and potential of every human being. Her language reflects a deep respect for the people she interacts with, a recognition that everyone deserves to feel uplifted and encouraged. When she speaks to someone who has made a mistake, she doesn't use words that belittle or shame them. Instead, she reminds them that mistakes are part of learning and growing, saying things like, "We all have moments like this, and it's how we move forward that matters." Her words create a safe space for vulnerability and self-improvement. Speaking words that uplift also involves speaking up when others are being put down. If she hears gossip or unkind remarks, she gently redirects the conversation, perhaps by saying, "I prefer to focus on the good things people are doing," or "Let's be mindful of how our words can affect others." Her ability to intervene without causing further conflict is rooted in her desire to maintain harmony and elevate the energy around her. By modeling uplifting speech, she inspires others to be more conscious of their own language, setting a standard for kindness and respect. Another aspect of uplifting speech is the way she talks about herself. She knows that self-talk is just as important as the words she speaks to others. When she's feeling discouraged or doubting her own abilities, she doesn't let negative thoughts dominate her internal dialogue. Instead, she speaks to herself as she would to a dear friend, using words of encouragement and self-compassion. She might say, "I am capable and resilient," or "I trust myself to find a way forward." By treating herself with the same level of care and respect that she offers to others, she strengthens her ability to uplift those around her. Her self-talk becomes a foundation upon which her external speech is built. The commitment to speak words that uplift transforms the atmosphere of every space she enters. Her presence alone brings a sense of reassurance and positivity, because people know that she will choose words that honor and uplift them. This quality makes her a leader in her community, someone whose words carry weight, because they are consistently used for good. People seek her out not just for her wisdom, but for the way her language makes them feel empowered, valued, and seen. Her uplifting speech becomes a source of comfort for those who are struggling in silence. Even when someone doesn't openly share their difficulties, they are touched by her kind words, which often come at just the right moment. Her sensitivity to the needs of others allows her to offer the encouragement they didn't know they needed. She becomes known as someone who speaks life into people's dreams and aspirations, someone whose language gives others the courage to keep going, even when the journey feels difficult. Moreover, she recognizes the importance of celebrating people's successes. When someone achieves something, no matter how big or small, she takes the time to offer words of genuine praise. Her joy for others is infectious, and her compliments are never given out of obligation, but from a sincere appreciation of their accomplishments. She knows that celebrating others doesn't diminish her own worth. Instead, it adds to the collective joy and energy of the community. Her uplifting words in these moments make people feel seen, appreciated, and proud of their achievements. Speaking words that uplift means being honest in a way that still respects the dignity of others. She does not shy away from difficult conversations or pretend that everything is perfect. Acting as a mirror of positivity means becoming a conscious reflector of the good in the world, in people, and in experiences. It's about being aware that you have the power to illuminate what is beautiful, strong, and hopeful in every situation. This keynote emphasizes the profound impact of mirroring positivity, a practice that starts from within and radiates outward, influencing not only your personal reality but also the environment and people around you. A woman who chooses to act as a mirror of positivity understands that the energy she brings into a space has the potential to transform it. She knows that the way she views herself and her surroundings is mirrored back by those she encounters. If she views the world with suspicion and doubt, she will often find reasons to reinforce those beliefs. However, if she chooses to look at the world through a lens of optimism and grace, she naturally reflects and magnifies that energy, inspiring the same in others. Her positive presence is not naive, but rather intentional and rooted in a deep belief that everyone has a spark of goodness that deserves to be acknowledged. This approach begins with how she perceives herself. She takes the time to nurture a positive self-image, knowing that the way she feels internally will be reflected in her interactions with others. When she looks in the mirror, she doesn't focus on perceived flaws or shortcomings. Instead, she highlights her strengths, her resilience, and the unique qualities that make her who she is. This self-affirmation isn't just about boosting her own confidence, it's about ensuring that she has a reservoir of positivity to draw from when she connects with others. By seeing her own worth, she finds it easier to recognize and reflect the worth of those around her. When she encounters people, she looks for their strengths and beauty, rather than their weaknesses or imperfections. Acting as a mirror of positivity doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what is uplifting, even in difficult circumstances. For instance, when she sees someone struggling, she doesn't dwell on the struggle itself, but rather acknowledges the courage it takes to keep going. She reflects back to them their own strength and perseverance, helping them to see it for themselves. By doing so, she becomes a source of encouragement and hope. In conversations, she makes a conscious effort to highlight the positive aspects of others' stories and experiences. When someone shares an accomplishment, no matter how small, she reflects their joy and pride back to them. Her responses are genuine and heartfelt. Like, "That's such an amazing achievement, you should feel so proud of yourself." This kind of mirroring helps to amplify the good feelings associated with their success, reinforcing their sense of self-worth. When she listens to someone talk about a challenge they're facing, she acknowledges the difficulty, but also mirrors back their potential for growth and transformation, saying things like, "I can see how strong and capable you are for handling this." Her mirroring extends beyond words. It shows up in her body language and demeanor as well. When someone is speaking to her, she is fully present, making eye contact and giving them her undivided attention. Her posture is open and inviting, signaling that she is genuinely interested in what they have to say. This silent yet powerful form of positive mirroring makes people feel seen and heard, often lifting their spirits simply because they know they are valued. Her presence alone becomes a form of reassurance, a reminder that there is good in the world and that they are a part of it. Moreover, acting as a mirror of positivity means being mindful of the energy she contributes to shared spaces. When she walks into a room, she carries an aura of calm and assurance, choosing to focus on the things that bring joy or promote harmony. If tensions arise, she doesn't get swept away by the negativity. Instead, she finds ways to reflect something more constructive, like compassion, understanding, or humor. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or invalidating the experiences of others. It means offering an alternative perspective that uplifts rather than diminishes. Her presence becomes a grounding force, helping others to shift from a place of anxiety or frustration to one of possibility and peace. She also understands the importance of being a mirror of positivity in the face of self-doubt or insecurity, especially when she witnesses others being hard on themselves. When a friend or colleague expresses feelings of inadequacy, she doesn't agree or reinforce those negative beliefs. Instead, she reflects back their potential, reminding them of all the times they have overcome obstacles or shown immense strength. She uses words like, "You've done incredible things before, and I know you have the ability to do this too." This kind of positive mirroring can be incredibly powerful, often helping someone to reframe their self-perception and see themselves in a more favorable light. Even when addressing criticism or negative feedback, she finds a way to maintain her commitment to positivity. Rather than focusing solely on what went wrong, she reflects back what went right and provides constructive insights in a way that feels encouraging rather than defeating. Her feedback is framed to uplift, like, "You have so much potential, and I'm excited to see how you can grow from this experience." By doing so, she empowers people to learn and improve without feeling diminished. Her approach fosters a culture of continuous growth, where people feel motivated to do better because they are supported rather than judged. Her ability to act as a mirror of positivity also transforms conflicts and misunderstandings. When disagreements arise, she listens with the intention of understanding rather than arguing. She acknowledges the emotions involved and reflects back what is valid, even if she doesn't agree with everything being said. Phrases like, "I can see why you would feel that way," or "I understand how important this is to you," help to de-escalate the situation and make the other person feel respected. Her positivity isn't about avoiding conflict, but about navigating it in a way that seeks resolution and understanding. By reflecting back empathy and openness, she creates a space where people feel safe to express themselves honestly. This practice of mirroring positivity is also present in how she approaches community and social settings. Whether she's at a gathering, an event, or simply interacting with neighbors, she makes an effort to be a beacon of kindness and warmth. People feel drawn to her because she makes them feel good about themselves. She remembers the little details that matter, like celebrating someone's achievements or checking in on them after a difficult time. Her actions remind people of their own inherent goodness and the beauty that exists in their connections with others. When she's faced with negativity from others, whether in the form of complaints, criticism, or pessimism, she doesn't absorb it or allow it to affect her peace. Instead, she reflects back something more constructive. If someone is complaining about a difficult day, she empathizes but also redirects the conversation to something more hopeful, like, "I hear you, and I know today was hard, but isn't it amazing how resilient you are, even when things get tough?" This shift in perspective doesn't invalidate their feelings, but offers a different way of looking at the situation, one that feels lighter and more manageable. Acting as a mirror of positivity does not mean denying the existence of challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It means acknowledging reality while also choosing to reflect what is empowering, uplifting, and full of potential. This practice requires a commitment to seeing the good in people and situations, even when it's not immediately obvious. It's about being a source of light in a world that sometimes feels dark, a reminder that there is always something to be grateful for, always something worth celebrating. Her ability to reflect positivity becomes a gift to everyone she encounters, an invitation for them to see themselves and the world through a lens of love and possibility. Manifesting acceptance and belonging begins with an inner journey, a journey of understanding and embracing who you are at the core. To truly create a sense of belonging, you must start by accepting yourself fully. It's a deep, genuine acceptance that transcends surface appearances and societal expectations, focusing instead on your inherent worth as a human being. When you embody this sense of self-acceptance, you radiate a warmth that naturally draws people to you. People sense when you are comfortable in your own skin, and that energy encourages them to feel at ease around you, creating a shared space of openness and connection. Acceptance is a powerful force. It doesn't mean complacency or passively tolerating everything that comes your way. Instead, it is about being present and embracing the entirety of your experience, including the aspects of yourself and others that may feel uncomfortable or imperfect. When you manifest acceptance, you stop resisting what is and start seeing it as part of the bigger picture of life. You come to understand that everyone, including yourself, is a work in progress, constantly evolving and growing. This realization allows you to give grace both to yourself and to those around you, fostering an environment where people feel safe to be who they are. When you hold space for others in this way, you create a foundation for true belonging. Belonging is not about fitting in or conforming to a set of norms. It's about feeling seen, heard, and valued for your authentic self. To manifest belonging, you become a bridge that connects people rather than dividing them. You act as someone who celebrates diversity, understanding that differences enrich our experiences rather than detract from them. You appreciate that each person has a unique story, and instead of viewing those differences as barriers, you see them as opportunities to learn and grow. By doing so, you make room for everyone to contribute their voice, and the collective space becomes more vibrant and inclusive. Creating an atmosphere of acceptance and belonging also involves listening with your whole heart. When someone speaks to you, you don't just hear their words, you listen to understand their emotions, their struggles, and their triumphs. You become fully present, letting go of preconceived notions and judgments. This level of listening shows people that they matter and that their experiences are valid. It sends a message that they are welcome just as they are, imperfections and all. People feel an undeniable sense of connection when they know that they are being received in this way. Your presence, your willingness to be there without trying to fix or change them, becomes a testament to their worth. When you manifest acceptance and belonging, you also honor the power of vulnerability. You understand that showing your true self, flaws and all, invites others to do the same. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is a courageous act of connection. When you open up and share your struggles, your fears, and your dreams, you give others permission to be vulnerable too. This shared humanity breaks down walls and builds genuine relationships. You come to realize that, at the heart of every person, there is a desire to be understood and accepted. By modeling vulnerability, you dismantle the illusions of perfection and make room for deeper, more meaningful interactions. To truly manifest belonging, you must be intentional about creating inclusive spaces. This means actively seeking out and celebrating the voices that are often marginalized or overlooked. It means being an advocate for equality and fairness, understanding that acceptance must extend beyond words and into actions. You look for ways to ensure that everyone feels represented and valued, whether it's in your workplace, your community, or your social circles. You become someone who speaks up when you see someone being excluded or disrespected, using your influence to uplift and protect those who may not have the strength or privilege to do so themselves. Acceptance is also a practice of self-awareness. It requires you to confront your own biases and judgments, to recognize where you may unconsciously create barriers to belonging. This is a humbling process, one that requires courage and honesty. But it is also liberating. By acknowledging your limitations, you open the door to growth and a deeper understanding of the world around you. You become more compassionate, both toward yourself and others, and this compassion becomes a cornerstone of the belonging you are trying to manifest. You understand that everyone has their own journey, shaped by experiences that you may never fully comprehend, and you offer respect and grace nonetheless. Another important aspect of manifesting acceptance and belonging is the language you use. Words carry energy, and the way you speak can either create connection or distance. You become mindful of how you express yourself, choosing words that uplift rather than tear down. You avoid gossip, negative talk, and harmful criticism. Instead, you speak words that empower, words that acknowledge the good in others. You practice the art of inclusive communication, using language that makes people feel part of something larger. You say things like, "We're in this together," or "Your perspective is valuable," making it clear that everyone has a place and a role to play. Actions, too, are essential. Manifesting belonging isn't just about what you say, it's about what you do. You reach out to people who seem isolated or left out, making an effort to include them. You show kindness to strangers, understanding that even the smallest gestures can make someone feel seen. You engage in community activities, not because you have to, but because you genuinely want to contribute to the well-being of the group. Your commitment to inclusion and acceptance becomes evident in the way you treat people from all walks of life, with respect and a willingness to understand. When you manifest acceptance, you also let go of the need for control. You stop trying to mold people into who you think they should be, and start celebrating them for who they are. You trust that people have their own wisdom and that they are on their own paths of growth and discovery. This doesn't mean you accept harmful behavior, rather. You set boundaries with love and compassion, holding space for people to learn and evolve. You recognize that everyone is doing the best they can with the resources and awareness they have at any given moment. This understanding allows you to respond to challenges with grace and patience. Your energy becomes a sanctuary where people feel safe to express themselves. People are drawn to this sense of belonging because it is genuine and heartfelt. You don't need to force connections or try to fit in. The right people and opportunities naturally find you. You become a magnet for meaningful relationships because your authenticity shines through. People know that in your presence, they are free to be themselves, free from judgment or pretense. This creates a ripple effect where the acceptance you show yourself and others begins to inspire the same behavior in your community. Belonging also involves the ability to adapt and grow with the people around you. You are flexible and willing to adjust when needed, understanding that people's needs and circumstances change. This adaptability ensures that the sense of belonging you cultivate remains strong and relevant. It's about being open to change, willing to learn from others, and growing together. This makes your connections dynamic and resilient, capable of weathering challenges because they are built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. In the end, manifesting acceptance and belonging transforms not only your relationships but your entire experience of life. It invites joy, love, and connection into your world in ways you never imagined. You become a beacon of hope and a force for good, all because you chose to be accepting and inclusive. This choice, repeated day after day, has the power to create communities where everyone feels valued and connected. By committing to this practice, you help to build a world where belonging isn't a privilege but a shared experience accessible to all. To live as a channel of unconditional giving is to embrace a transformative way of being that transcends mere acts of kindness or generosity. It is a profound shift in consciousness, a commitment to embody a spirit of giving that flows freely and abundantly from the heart. This form of giving is not transactional. It does not seek something in return. Instead, it is motivated by a deep-seated understanding that giving enriches not only the receiver but also the giver. It cultivates a cycle of love, joy, and connection that can change lives and elevate the human experience. Unconditional giving begins with the recognition that everything you have is a gift. Your talents, resources, time, and love are all unique contributions to the world. When you view your gifts in this light, you begin to see that sharing them is not just a choice but a natural expression of who you are. It is acknowledgement that you are part of a greater whole, a community of beings interconnected in ways that are often invisible yet profoundly felt. This perspective allows you to shift from a mindset of scarcity, where you may fear losing what you have, to a mindset of abundance, where you understand that the more you give, the more you create space for receiving. Living as a channel of unconditional giving invites you to examine your motivations for giving. Are you giving out of obligation, guilt, or a desire for approval? Or are you giving from a place of love, joy, and authenticity? This introspection is crucial, as it helps clarify the intention behind your actions. When you give unconditionally, your actions are not influenced by external factors. Instead, they arise from a place of deep understanding and connection with others. This leads to a sense of liberation. You are free from the weight of expectation and judgment. You give simply because it feels good to give, and this energy resonates with those around you. As you practice unconditional giving, you begin to cultivate an awareness of the needs of those around you. You learn to listen deeply, to be present, and to recognize the subtle cues that indicate when someone might need support. This level of awareness requires you to step outside of yourself, to place value on others' experiences and feelings. It means developing empathy and compassion, understanding that everyone carries their own burdens, and that sometimes the simplest act of kindness can make a profound difference in someone's life. You may not have to provide grand gestures or material gifts. Often, a kind word, a listening ear, or a warm smile can serve as a lifeline to someone in need. Moreover, living as a channel of unconditional giving encourages you to extend your generosity beyond familiar circles. It invites you to reach out to those who may be marginalized or overlooked. This could mean volunteering your time at a local shelter, offering support to those battling addiction, or simply being kind to strangers. When you actively seek out opportunities to serve others, you begin to dissolve the barriers that separate us. You recognize that we all share the same humanity, regardless of our circumstances, and that each act of giving strengthens the fabric of our communities. An essential aspect of unconditional giving is the understanding that it does not deplete you. This can be a common misconception. Many fear that giving too much will leave them empty or without. However, when you give unconditionally, you tap into an infinite source of energy and love. This energy flows through you, nourishing you as you share it with others. You come to realize that the act of giving is not a sacrifice, rather, it is an invitation to participate in the abundant flow of life. As you give, you create more space within yourself for love, joy, and fulfillment to enter. This energetic exchange enhances your own life while elevating the lives of those around you. Moreover, unconditional giving helps you cultivate gratitude. When you focus on what you can give rather than what you can receive, you shift your perspective from one of lack to one of abundance. Gratitude becomes a lens through which you view your life, allowing you to appreciate the many blessings you already possess. As you practice giving, you find yourself surrounded by a network of connections, friendships, and love that flourishes in the shared space of generosity. This gratitude fuels your giving spirit, creating a virtuous cycle where giving and receiving coexist harmoniously. Another key element of living as a channel of unconditional giving is the need for self-care. It is essential to remember that you cannot pour from an empty cup. While your desire to give is noble, you must also honor your own needs and boundaries. By taking care of yourself, you ensure that you have the energy and resources to continue giving. This involves nurturing your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. You might engage in practices that replenish your spirit, such as meditation, exercise, creative expression, or simply taking time for rest and reflection. When you prioritize your self-care, you empower yourself to give from a place of abundance rather than obligation, allowing your contributions to be genuine and heartfelt. Living as a channel of unconditional giving also calls for resilience. In your journey, you may encounter obstacles, such as ungratefulness, misunderstanding, or even rejection. These experiences can be disheartening and may tempt you to withdraw or hold back. However, embracing resilience means understanding that your value as a giver is not dependent on the reactions of others. Instead, you recognize that each act of giving, no matter how small, contributes to the greater good. You allow yourself to be a beacon of light, regardless of external validation. This inner strength sustains your commitment to giving, reminding you that the impact of your actions often extends beyond what is immediately visible. To cultivate this resilience, you can also engage in practices that promote self-reflection and learning. After each act of giving, take a moment to reflect on the experience. What feelings arose within you? How did the act impact both you and the recipient? By analyzing your experiences, you develop a deeper understanding of the nature of giving and receiving, allowing you to grow and adapt your approach as needed. This process fosters a sense of continuous improvement, where you can refine your skills as a giver and enhance the quality of your contributions. Living as a channel of unconditional giving transforms not only your relationships but your entire existence. It invites joy, purpose, and fulfillment into your life in ways you may never have imagined. You become a source of inspiration for others, demonstrating the profound impact of a generous spirit. As you continue to give unconditionally, you foster a culture of kindness and compassion that reverberates throughout your community. In this shared journey, you create a world where love flows freely, where connections deepen, and where everyone is uplifted by the simple yet powerful act of giving. Each day becomes an opportunity to express your true essence, enriching the lives of others and, in turn, your own. In conclusion, embracing the journey of becoming a woman who has friendships with everyone involves a commitment to embodying the principles of connection, love, and generosity. Each expanded keynote illustrates the profound impact of living in a way that prioritizes empathy, understanding, and kindness. By embodying the spirit of connection, we not only forge meaningful relationships, but also nurture a sense of belonging within ourselves and others. Seeing everyone through the lens of love transforms our interactions and fosters an environment where compassion thrives. This perspective encourages us to recognize the inherent worth of each individual, creating a safe space for open-heartedness and vulnerability. As we radiate inviting energy, we become magnetic forces of positivity, drawing others into our lives and encouraging them to share their authentic selves. Imagining understanding before judgment empowers us to approach each encounter with curiosity, rather than preconceived notions. This practice enriches our relationships, allowing us to bridge differences and celebrate our shared humanity. Through uplifting words, we can inspire and encourage those around us, amplifying their potential and enhancing the collective spirit of our communities. Acting as a mirror of positivity reflects back the best in others, reinforcing their strengths and capabilities. This not only uplifts those we encounter, but also fosters a culture of appreciation and encouragement, where everyone feels valued and supported. Manifesting acceptance and belonging allows individuals to experience the profound comfort that comes from being seen and accepted for who they truly are, nurturing connections that transcend superficial boundaries. Lastly, living as a channel of unconditional giving invites us to continuously share our gifts with the world. This form of giving creates a ripple effect, inspiring others to embrace their own capacity for generosity. It emphasizes that the act of giving is not just about what we offer to others, but also about how we nourish our own spirits in the process. By weaving these principles into the fabric of our lives, we cultivate a community grounded in love, respect, and mutual support. The journey of being a woman who has friendships with everyone is not merely about the number of connections we maintain, but the depth and quality of those relationships. As we move forward, let us commit to nurturing these ideals, recognizing that through our actions and intentions, we hold the power to create a world where kindness reigns and every person feels valued and cherished. In this shared journey, we become not just friends to one another, but allies in the pursuit of a more compassionate and connected world.